Okay, the time is 6:05. Call meeting order. One of the operating budget for next year. Two commissioners and the chief. And our cost is
Well, before we start going over the budget, I wonder if we could go over the, we got commission on the price for the limit right over here. And I just want to know if commissioners want to see that. The cost is $5,000 plus the only other cost associated with that is that we have to have a tree survey. I tried to get an estimate from the people who just did the survey for us, and the old survey cost $3,000 on that, and the new one, all I had to do was amend it. I think it would cost that. We don't have to know that number right now. Just all I really need to know is if you really want to see it.
Let me ask you a question. The piece of that, how much land is it? Or where is it? Is it the whole right to 93?
Yes, it goes to the middle of the street, and that's where the state property is.
Since it's a street side, everything from where we are here down to the bank.
Yeah.
So that's our frontage. If there was any expansion or anything, that's where the restriction being located. Well, you said here that you found that we own the piece behind it, but the street side of it, DOT kept.
Yeah.
So we own behind it,
Yes.
on this side.
We already own behind it, and then there's another piece in question that we own half of. If you look at the map,
I guess I think you put it in the thing. It's on page 2.
yeah, it's in here.
So this is this light blue area. Yes. What we all really own. The state discovered that we own this part too.
Right.
And this is the part that we can buy. So we have the full part.
So in other words, we had more land than what we thought we did.
That's what this land.
Okay.
It's no fun that they use.
But, you know, in my opinion, I think we be stupid not to pull it in the left.
I wouldn't want to spend $5,000 this year without deficit.
It wouldn't happen. There's a process that has to take place. We have to give them notification that yes, we want to pursue it. Then it goes before the long range capital planning and utilization committee. They meet on November 30th. If we say, she said if I let them know right away, she could probably get it on the agenda for that. If we don't get it on the agenda for them, the next time they meet is sometime in February. I'd rather get it on the agenda now to see where we fall personally, but that's up to you guys. After that, if it's approved, then the town of Northfield gets first right of refusal, as well as the New Hampshire State Housing Authority. They get first right of refusal as well. Then, if they refuse it, and we're still interested, then it goes to governor and council for their approval. Once they approve it, then we cut a check. And then we get it on transfer. So it's a several month process. So nothing's coming out of this year's budget.
Well, we wouldn't anything. You could probably take it out of land and building.
You could. There are a number of avenues that you could use for this. You could, in next year's budget, you could raise and appropriate under the land line item in the budget. You could do a transfer from the land and building fund to appropriate that, or you could also do a transfer from the unassigned fund balance for whatever we think that amount might be, the 5,000 plus the sustaining costs, which I don't think should be. I'm waiting on him to get back to me and give me an estimate. So all I really need to know is if you want to pursue it or not.
I mean, you guys have been working on that fire station I mean, wouldn't it be that benefit to own that piece?
It would be a benefit. I mean, we own enough property now where we could extend the station out to the property line and still get 3 to 4 bays easily. And then, but you would be right up to the line, so your snow sloughing, plowing, walkways, things like that would be an issue. Depending on how far back that frontage goes, I mean, it's pros and cons. I see the benefits to it. Also, I don't want to spend the money that like I said, this year, absolutely not. And I wouldn't want to try and sneak this by the public. I want to make sure that the public knows clearly where the money's coming from, what it's for, so that they have the right to say yay or nay, since we represent that. And if they are in favor of it, absolutely, it would make it a lot easier to utilize this property.
Well, it's not only that, but if for some reason they didn't go or add on to this fire station, and somebody owned that piece of land, I don't think it's big enough to do anything with it. I mean, they couldn't put a house or anything, I don't believe they could. But they could probably make it a little tighter. So, my feelings is we ought to pursue it.
All right.
I don't know what you guys think it.
Sword.
The only caution I have is, okay, if it costs $5,000 to survey it, now we're paying $10,000 for people.
The original cost to survey, which I think is an example in here, cost $3,000.
Yeah.
And that was for the land that we got. Now, I also put a question to him that says, I want the current survey corrected to reflect our appropriate boundaries, because they should have found that, because it was in the registry of deeds. And I also sent them a copy of the deed, where it was a quick claim deed. We didn't pay any money for that land from the state at that point. They just gave it to us. I don't know for what reason it happened in 1983 or something. So you were on the call.
Yeah, I can't.
You don't remember what was going on at that time? So it was before this building was actually built. So,
Maybe it was one of those things where they needed so many square feet of space and,
I mean,
just needed that land to build it on.
We've spent a fair amount of money already on two other sites. And I'm not going to go. I mean, well, my feeling is we should pursue it.
I'm in favor of pursuing it.
Can somebody make a motion?
Make a motion that we pursue the purchase of the state land as identified in the surplus property appraisal report dated November 10th, 2020, with a contributory value of $5,000.
And so 5,000 plus everyone, so maybe you think we ought to put that in there too?
You need to put the money in somehow for the engineering.
Yeah, to pay for survey.
Right, and is that going to be?
Provided in a do not exceed cost of $3,000 for a survey.
From this year's money or next year's? That's the whole thing. If we spend a penny more than
Well, I
what
don't
we
think
need to,
I think it has to.
It can't be from this year.
I think it has to be contingent on some type of warrant.
I'm all in favor. And just like I said, right now we're cutting it so tight. Your budget is right out of the line. I don't want to go over it. There's too many people who will be waiting for that opportunity. You're keeping it under. You're going to keep it under, and I think it's the best thing to do.
Okay, motion been made, all those in favor?
Wait a minute, somebody needs to
Oh, I'll
second.
second.
Any?
I thought you did.
I'll second it.
Okay, motion been made, second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Everything you haven't done is highlighted,
It's not in the
that you
field.
need to revisit.
that or not?
Nope.
All the trustees just presented it.
What did we leave off last time, Kathy?
No, hold
We
on.
skipped a bunch of stuff.
We skipped the whole bunch and then we moved around.
Let's start back at the beginning and do the highlighted ones that need to be done. The first one that you haven't touched is legal expense. You get 4153 on page 3.
It wasn't highlighted, no.
Oh, it's because it's gray. Sorry.
Look at the legal expenses. No, I see it now. I was looking for it in yellow.
No, I missed it. Oh, well.
You never know.
Right. And I see, so far this year, we used 437 out of 3,000, and now you're going up another 2,000 above that. What's coming on the horizon?
It's a good question. Possible land purchase, of course. The thing is, I never know. You know,
This year we've been lucky we haven't had anything.
we've had some contract reviews, stuff like that, and I expect we'll probably have some of those next year as well.
Because some of the legal expenses covered by primates also. Don't they cover some of that? Depending on the conditioning of what the incident is.
They do give us legal advice on some things, but it's mostly on liability purposes,
Mhm.
not, you know, is the wording of this policy correct or not? They'll look at it and say, well, in a liability purpose, you should change this, but the rest of it, we need to talk to the other way about. And use Sean for that mostly.
We have potential for contract review with the ambulance and fire possibly.
Yeah, that's usually, a few $100 each.
Well, I mean,
Yeah, just seeing that we haven't even come close to 3,000, even at our highest point 2 years ago, where we were
I
only
know that
half.
if you get something,
Yes, it's,
you know,
but putting money aside like that, I mean, it's nice to have, and if we don't use it, then it goes back, but it's just looking at this.
I'm going to ask a couple questions, so don't any of you laugh, especially with Peter down. But can someone, let's just say someone knew that they were negative for COVID, right, and they get transported, and all of a sudden, after they get transported, and they get test positive, can they come back and sue us and say, I caught COVID for you? As frivolous as it is, you have to have a lawyer to fight it.
Yeah, but that would be a Primex one, then, wouldn't that?
I'm asking that.
That's one of
That's a
those where,
liability, it should be a primary one, and I don't
know.
well, anybody can sue anybody for anything.
Oh, I know that.
I don't know the legal merits of it. I mean, that's-
I can't imagine someone doing it, but someone would possibly be crazy enough to do it too, so.
yeah,
You know, my great uncle Charlie died because he was in here, he was transported by you, COVID. He didn't have it. I don't know. I just asked.
well, he must apply for himself, because
Well, I know, I just asked you, I mean, it's just,
all our personal extreme precautions.
I get that, and I'm just saying, but all you do
so we
is
can claim it, absolutely.
take someone that's just, emotional, the raw emotional. I mean, it's,
Once again, that type of situation would fall most likely on the liability of our Primex, so that wouldn't be our own
no, I
litigation.
just.
It's more people taking us to court over making them wear a mask at the big fire district meeting, when do we have the right to? That's where what the legal fees we would be likely to see.
Well, that would come back to the school district, which if the school district requires people to wear. Anyways, I'll make a motion that we do $3,000 for line 4153 legal expense.
I'm in favor of that. Wait a second.
Second it?
I've seconded it for 3,000.
Okay, motion been made. 4153 legalized expense, $3,000. It's seconded. All those in favor?
Aye. Personnel, or do others, or once you go personnel, you probably just put all personnel.
We can do the health insurance.
Yeah, we can do the insurances.
Yeah, that's the insurance. Group health, 210. Group health insurance.
This is what we discussed at Commissioners meeting last week.
And it's,
We have to show the total expenditure for the year so that it's in the budget, and then the grant portion will be in the budget as well and come off.
so that 100, it's up almost $100,000.
Right, but
And we'll get that money will come back.
we will get that money back, yes.
Okay.
It'll be just like we talked about
A portion of the
Tuesday.
money, or is it all of it?
It's the money for the health insurance.
For the
So-
safer grant?
Yes, saver grant.
Okay.
We're in line to get 113,000, almost 114,000 back from.
Is that over the course of 3 years? or
No,
is
that's
that-
for that year.
This
1 year, okay.
1 year.
No, we've done 156,000 extra in 2020. That's what we've,
Well,
Well-
we lost a family plan in January. So from February on, we were done family plan. And we picked up an opt-out. And then in June, we went from a single to a two-person. So it's all worked out so that, yes.
And then we lost an employee a couple months ago that we're in the process of trying to replace. Well, it'll start on November 30th.
Right, so we have to plan for 5 people with family plan, is what we have to budget for.
No.
We know
one's going to
we
be.
know 2 of the 5 right now.
Yeah, we know 2 of the 5. And they're not families.
Does the new hire that starts November 30th, is there a waiting period for
No.
insurance?
It's
So
effective December 1st.
Okay. Let's have that.
So what we know right now, not knowing what the 3 other new employees are going to take, it's a net decrease of $4,037 over what was appropriated last year.
now, when we do that will show in the, next year in the warrant article, not the warrant article. That'll be in there for the 300 and some odd. If people don't say, God, you've gone up 100, is there a way to, I mean, it's just $100,000.
It's because...
And I understand why, you explained it to me, I understand that.
But there is an offset to it, so in order for us to actually pay the health insurance, it has to be in the budget. We'll be reimbursed for that expense. So
I understand that.
We might be
People
able,
gonna look at that.
we might be able to write it properly, word it so that in the warrant article,
That's what I mean, it should be worded so they understand that 100,000 or 90,000.
with X amount of dollars to be offset.
Yeah.
Right, because, exactly, they're gonna see that and they're not gonna even think that, well, you have money coming in, no. They're gonna be so focused on the outgoing, so.
but we have to do the outgoing to make.
I understand. We just have to clearly explain,
Because there's going to be questions about it.
almost on the same, you
Oh, yeah.
can't put it on the same line as replaced by safer grant. You might be able to can you put a bullet there and put it at the bottom of the page?
I don't know, I'll have to see how it works out.
Well,
as I go.
it'll be the same with the salary line. The salary
Yeah.
line is going to be a lot higher, but you'll see.
That's offset.
That'll be
Retirement's
offset.
going to be offset.
That's why I'm not sure if the budget, because it's the budget committee's report that goes to all that.
Yes.
If we can put it, some kind of note at the bottom of the same page, with it direction, that way they're not all in an uproar because they, but
Or in parentheses, includes grant money of
yeah.
$20.
So it's on the same page rather than showing offset incoming on the last page because they're not going to get to there before they melt down.
Or you put C page,
I don't think people flip that.
well, C page, whatever, for a breakdown, so
Yeah.
you can show it on a spreadsheet.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree with you. It clearly has to be explained and has to be shown somehow that we're getting offsets for these numbers that are so much higher than what they would normally be.
What goes into what's going to be handed out is the MS 737, which is what goes to the state. So,
But is there anything that says, there's nothing that says we can't have an explanation sheet of.
we can have an explanation
Okay.
sheet.
Yes, we can have
I don't
that.
think
We can't
that-
alter the MS.
737.
Okay, so you can't put a note or anything on there.
No,
That's what I
we
wasn't
can
sure
have-
about.
We can hand out our own for the meeting.
Right, as an explanation sheet, like you said.
We're gonna need it.
You
We're gonna
couldn't
need
have
it.
it. Yep.
But all of a sudden people go, what?
Yes.
This stuff is higher. Or, however, $1,000.
So may I make a motion?
Make a motion to approve group health insurance at $340,000. Wait, 340, 250. Something.
347, 643.
Wait, no,
Oh, 258. All right, that's right.
$340,258.
What do you want to approve the whole line for the 393,011?
Sure, I'll do that. I'll make a motion that we approve total group health insurance for $393,011.
And we'll get some of that back too, I take it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Something's wrong. That's not adding up to the 1,496.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I'll second it. That's fine. Let's just check the map.
Checking the map.
It looks like it does.
Doesn't matter.
On this sheet is the sheet.
Oh, yeah, okay, so that's right, the 393.
393011.
Good, thank you, because I had a different figure, but that's okay. Because I changed it, that's why, and I didn't catch it, it's okay. I know
All set?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was second for the 393011.
Okay, then second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Now, the next line item is group life insurance. Is that included them in the going to reimburse?
Yes.
Yes,
So we can bundle all of them together?
yes.
Yes.
You know, if we bundle them all together, the only question after that is the budget going forward, is it going to show each line or is it only going to show the bottom dollar?
It's going to show the whole line, each
Okay.
line.
I just remember that we were looking at something before and it wasn't showing.
Yeah, we didn't fill it out line by line. but
Yeah, I just want to make sure that we're
the
showing line by line on the report.
Oh, it'll definitely be
Okay.
here on line by
I just
line.
remember the stuff that we saw last time, and I just want to make sure we set it the same. So as long as it shows that, then yeah, I'm fine with the bottom dollar.
I'll make a motion, we accept Group life, 213, group life insurance. Total group life insurance is $14,904.
That was like 215.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm seeing this one.
Far enough?
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
You understand basketball day, so it's preferably both one kid.
I'll second that for 14904.
Then moved second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Now, Mike, your social security is 220 social security for $12,042.
I have a question. If we do social security, I don't know about the other one, but at least social security, isn't that contingent on the salary lines being approved?
Yes.
So it's a percentage of,
Social Security is contingent upon my basketball company salary.
So social security, Medicare, retirement, all that.
Yes,
So we got to,
all right,
I'll post that after salary, just in case.
all right.
wait, you say it's contingent on whose salary?
The only ones that it applies to, Social Security, is Bess, myself, and the call company. All the career personnel do not have Social Security taken out.
Really?
Yeah, because they're in the New
Right.
Hampshire retirement system.
Oh, okay, okay.
but it does, the Medicare.
The Medicare applies to
And the
everybody.
retirement and
Yes.
unemployment.
Oh, and I forgot, the elected officials too, in Social Security.
So we could approve social security, just not gonna, well, now let's
Okay,
get,
so
let's get.
it's all fine, that's all budget or personnel.
Okay, the next one down here is the Aqua Flora.
And Center Street.
It's Center Street, $775.
That's fine. I have no problem with that.
Second.
I'll make a motion for the 775 on line 430.
Seconded, Eric.
Yeah, I second it.
All right, so, Center Street,
Yeah, Center Street, bathroom floor, 775.
you opposed?
Yep.
Then move in second. Any discussion here and now? All those in favor? Aye.
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 30.02.
Next one is 430.02, shower installed in bathroom on Park Street.
So, went out and redid it, and this is the price for it now. And it brings up to the VA as well. A lot of this is just almost nickel and dime. You know, one tape is like $300, white board, paint is like $150. Handrails, hanging the handrails is like $50. It's just a bunch of $50 here, $50 there, that's $1.
So the scope of work in there, I assume you have concrete cutting
Yes, concrete cutting,
and tying into an existing drain, or are you coming out?
tying and moving the 16 drains, repouring the floor, installing the shower, moving the commode to create the space necessary, new sink with the underneath thing with all the wrapping on the piping that's required by ADA, widening the door, installing the
Oh, it's not
roof.
going to be a cabinet, it's going to just be a
It-
sink coming
you
out
have to
with
have-
the
so you
piping
have
cover.
wheelchair underneath it.
Right,
That's why
okay.
it has to be wrapped.
Yep.
So all that stuff.
In the shower, you're going to have a lip on the shower. What's the plan for that? With-
So the shower itself is non-ADA. The commode and the sink is ADA. The
Mhm.
shower itself is for hazmat stuff. It's not.
Right.
intended to be-
So that's why it's going to have a lip, so
Yes.
you catch.
Yes.
And is all that, because of the hazmat potential, does your shower going to have to go into a separator?
No, it goes into,
Okay.
it does go into the separator before it goes into the sewer system, but it will only separate oil and water.
Particulates, basic particulates, not, you're not using it for any kind of, the fun stuff.
No,
Okay.
not that kind of stuff,
Alright. It still seems like they're bad, but.
I have a question. We have this on the agenda. We have $4,700 appropriated to that for 2020 for this year.
Yes.
current year, which we put on hold because of the current budget situation.
no. Correct.
Is it something that we could put on hold, this line item, until we get further at the end of the year, so that if we could, maybe we can encumber that so we're not charged, because I know that some taxpayers are going to feel that they're paying for it twice, and encumber the funds to,
We could,
you know, if let's just say, hey, we're 12,000 in the black at the end of the year, we know that we could take 9,000 of that and not have to raise and appropriate again.
we would have to sign a contract.
Well, that's what I'm saying, is that something that we could possibly do with whoever?
We really won't know where we stand until the very end of the year. We'll try to get a contractor to sign a contract for whatever amount is be difficult. We try.
Plus, right now, we're like 11,000 delta that we're looking at, and so if we go any close to that, because you have to encumber for the full amount of the 9,075, you couldn't,
You could encumber what was voted last year.
Could we cover 4,700?
that's what, I didn't know if we could or not.
Yes, you
Yeah,
could.
we could.
I would like to do that, because they pay for it.
Because they're gonna say, what'd you use the money for, if you're gonna use it for that?
okay, you know, but,
But still, they gave us the money intended for
right.
this.
But at the same time, we don't know if we're really going to need it or not at this point.
No, that's what I'm saying, can we wait, can we not wait?
Maybe you can adjust this to the budget people, I mean,
Or just leave it as highlighted.
No, I say that as I noticed that there's only one fire truck that I saw outside. Is there two fire trucks outside?
There's one outside, the other one is at the shop.
Like they may not go to work.
And the tanker also needs a new charger. So they had some other work done on the building, but
No, I'm just I'm asking the questions because I know it's crazy.
it's going to, right now my thing says $11,000, but that was before engine one needs to go out, and now the tankers need to go out. I don't know where that's going to take us, and I think that was before I got the $1,600 bill for the ambulance. So it's dwindling,
Yeah, right.
and for our meeting on December 1st, I'll have a new thing of where we stand.
That was a better idea.
so are we hoping to finish this off tonight and to hand off to the budget?
I don't know.
Well, I know you would like that, but
Whatever you have done tonight is going to be handed off to the budget committee on Monday. So as much as you can get done would be awesome.
8 o'clock is it.
So we gotta get moving.
Yes. Very nice.
Okay, what about this year, the 9,075?
I don't see us getting it in this year's budget.
Yeah, that's quite true. I'm still going to circle it. So I make a motion to put in shower and install bathroom for $9,075. On the pressure station 430.02.
Also, if at the end of the year we do have funds during the budgeting process, we can change, we can finish this again. So
Right.
So I circled it. I can't highlight it. There's no highlight.
Okay, it's been moved in second by John, all those in favor?
Can we go back and grab the unemployment compensation? It's only $500.
We shouldn't have to pay that, Kathy.
We do.
Well, I know, but we shouldn't have to because nobody ever get laid off.
It doesn't have to be laid off of here.
I know.
If they work part-time here and they work somewhere else and they lose their job somewhere else, we have to kick into their employment.
So the $500, we're just kicking into the pot because that is not going to cover anything. It's just kicking in to have access to the pot if needed.
Right.
And that's, the 500 is sufficient because last year it was 2250.
Well, last year, we had a claim, and that's what I knew it was going to cost us for the year,
Okay.
but then that claim moved out of state.
We didn't get hit with it, so
We didn't get hit
fingers
with it.
crossed it doesn't come back.
Okay, and that's where it reflected actually.
Yes.
Okay, I'll make a motion.
Why do you always go for the small ones?
Because I need a big one. I'll make a motion 250, line 250, unemployment compensation for $500.
I'll second that.
Then move and second, any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, aye.
Aye. See what happened.
Okay, this, the next one is,
Workers' compensation.
Did that.
what's
All
that?
the insurances. I have checked with other insurance companies, and at this time, we are tied into these rates because we have a 3-year contract with Primex, and we have 1 year to go.
That's what it is this year, 43,077.
Yes,
And we have the opportunity next year to shop around.
yes.
I guess we don't have a choice.
It's going to be difficult because,
Primex is not an insurance company. It's a risk management group that most New Hampshire municipalities belong to. And they're kind of like a credit union. They're not making a profit. They're there to provide a service at the least possible cost. And there are times when there are years where they've overestimated what it would cost by their actuaries, and we end up getting a refund check by them. I don't think an insurance company would ever do that. But maybe they would, I don't know. But everybody I talk to, municipality-wise, belongs to finance. I personally have found anybody who doesn't belong to finance.
So it is an insurance, I mean, they're basically an insurance company.
They act kind of like an insurance
I mean,
company. They insure risks, but it's a risk management group. So the whole group assumes the risk of the whole group rather than everybody. If you went to an insurance company for risk, liability risk management, or in this case, workers' comp, for the fire district, we would be by ourselves.
I guess we don't have a choice.
Called it. Okay, line 260, workers' compensation with a 7.2% increase for $43,077.
It's been moved second, any discussion, all those in favor? Okay, property and liability insurance. Guess we'll do both these together. 480, property and liability insurance is increased 9%. Property and equipment, oh, it is deductible, okay, it's $1,000.
We do it when
yes.
Make a motion to approve that for $27,900.
Moved second, any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
we're probably going to skip that.
I'm gonna say-
salaries and wages. Oh,
Antivirus.
Yeah, so.
Oh, wait, we got school training fees.
Yeah, yeah, you do training, school training fees. So,
Do you have a list of
yes, I do.
how's training working in a COVID environment?
It's not very much right now, it's very restricted. But I expect that next year, towards the middle, and, well, first responders are in the line to get the vaccination first. If they want, I don't think it's required by anybody that I'm aware of. But at the same time, so the first responders should be getting their vaccinations in the early part of the year. It's, from what I understand right now, it's a 2-shot process. You get 1 shot, and then 21 or 28 days later, you get another shot, and then 15 days after that, you are theoretically immune to the virus. So theoretically, you should be good to go by sometime in March if everybody gets their immunizations in January, February.
See, I heard different. I heard you could get the shot, and then the 21 days or 2 weeks or I guess it was 2 months. I heard. But there again, they're unsure. They're unsure how long that shot is going to last. Does it last a year? Does it last a week? Does it last 6 months? I've heard different stories all over.
So yeah, I'm on the government task force that oversees all this and the distribution of it. And there are conflicting reports, but what they're thinking is like, they think the shot is going to last a lot longer than somebody who's gotten COVID has the antibodies. And then when they tested the antibodies like 3 or 4 months out, the antibodies aren't there. But in reality, they think they're still going to be immune to it because some of a little cell in the body says, no, it's not going to happen. I don't have the specifics of that. But it's kind of like the flu shot. You get the flu shot, and in a few weeks you're theoretically immune to it. And the flu shot is only good for about 7-8 months. The reason it's only good for 7-8 months is because the flu viruses change every year. There's a different group of flus that they immunize you to, depending upon what happens with Argentina.
It's Argentina, the cycle before is what they usually base it on for production.
And
It's southern
because
hemisphere, they're ahead of us.
their winters
No, I
ahead.
know.
Yeah, it's somewhere down that way is what we kind of base it on.
They could use Australia if they wanted. It's the southern hemisphere is winter, is what we base what we're going to.
No, I get that.
Okay. But at any rate, that has nothing to do with the training. So, given the fact that I had to eliminate most of the training and then we have a number of employees still looking for additional training, I increased my line item. The requested training from all my employees came out to $43,375. I went through there and parsed it down to $23,975. That includes the normal, the trial conference. We usually have a seminar every year. The Seacoast Fire Chief Seminar, all very, very good ones. Primex conference, the Primex classes, they provide a lot of classes that are very,
Are most of their classes free?
some of them are free, some of them are not, depending upon who they bring in. We have 2 employees that are part of the succession plan for when I leave that want to start taking the Certified Public Manager Program offered by the state. So that's very important to fund. There's also New Hampshire Municipal Association classes. There's paramedic, or no paramedic training, paramedic certifications in there, EMT certifications in there, which includes PALS, RSI training that's in there, recertification for CPR. I have an individual who wants, a firefighter who wants to become an advanced EMT, that's in there. And then there's also costing if we have to bring outside instructors. So, given that we spent only about, this year, this one,
Spend a third of your budget.
yeah, a third of the budget is still,
But a lot of that was probably COVID induced too.
COVID prevented us from doing a lot of the outside training. Outside training is very important. It gives you a greater perspective on what the fire service and EMS is doing generally, instead of just sticking in your own cocoon.
Maybe if we're gonna have $11,000 savings this year, I'm not very good at math, but that seems to be where a lot of our savings are coming from this year.
It is.
That we've already used for maintenance.
Well, that's what I said, no, but, or, you know, or, you know,
Right. Now, how much of that planned training is for safer hires?
Safer hires don't really get, if they have, if their EMT is up, we pay for that, that's part of our stuff, but they don't, during their probationary period, they really don't get any outside stuff.
And how long is their probationary period?
1 year.
Okay, so,
It could be a little shorter or a little longer, but generally.
okay, so during the probationary year, they're coming in with probably firefighter 2, or whatever they call it these days, career firefighter, or
Firefighter two.
It is
Twelve volt
firefighter,
Firefighter two.
I'm coming in with that and EMT minimum.
EMT minimum, yeah.
Because we're hiring them and we're not getting funds to train them above that level. So if they wanted to be AEMTs, yes, I understand that that's would benefit our department, but that's also coming out of our dollars and not as part of the safer refunded dollars. Same as if they wanted to go career course or fire inspector courses or any of the other that you're
No,
talking
they wouldn't be
about.
going for any of that.
Right, that's much higher level, but I'm just throwing out.
I would, if they're not advanced EMT, I would like to send them to A school, only because it not only benefits the fire district as a whole, it benefits the department. Also, if they on a call with a call firefighter, which happens sometimes, and they don't, and we only have basics down there, but it's still good to go at the ALS level rather than BS level, BLS level. If we have one or two of those calls, it makes up for the whole difference in the cost of the tuition percentage.
It's just the public is going to be very on top of us about how much safer firefighters are going to cost us in any realm of dollars. So if now you're going to have to pay training to get them to above what the safer is paying, that will be a backlash. I mean, we'll hear that back immediately because we're going to bring them to A and T. That's not part of the safer requirement. Why are we doing it? I see both sides of the coin, but
I think it's something, if that comes up, we can have a discussion about it. But right now, I only have one advanced EMT tuition requirement, sorry. And that's for a call firefighter.
I personally have concerns with it jumping so high. Just my 2 cents.
Would you like to see?
Well, in the years past, we've done 9,400, 14,000. Obviously, 2020 is a little out of the equation because of it. But even then, we were budgeting for 15,000. We were probably on par for what close to the expenses for 19 if we hadn't spent it. I mean,
Yeah, I have some folks that want to become firefighters once that haven't been able to take that course. Currently, the fire academy is going to start, in the spring semester is going to offer that course for call firefighters or anyone else who wants to take the course. And he's been on the fire department almost a year and kind of screwed out of that training and not allowing us to fully utilize it at the same time.
essentially it's a $9,000 increase from what was projected. Ballpark.
and the request was 43,000. I cut 20,000 out of it.
A lot of this stuff is going to reflect on different things here. We get to the end. It's whatever.
I understand trainings are good upstream for networking, absolutely. I mean, I've done the round robins with all the other stuff I've done. There is a lot out there. I think you're going to see more and more education is going to be Zoom related, absolutely coming, which means the cost for it, because the instructor can do it remotely without his travel costs, his hotel costs. I think you're going to see more and more of that, and if it's concepts that they're trying to learn, a lot of it they can learn from guided Zoom training, unless it's like hands-on practical. So it should be,
I just wanted to speak because I literally just got an update from the NREMT about that. The NREMT is only allowing, so they have a distributive education component that they allow online. They're only allowing the removal of their restriction on that for this year's research cycle. So come 2021, you got to go right back to the same amount of in-person educational experience.
right, for the EMT portion of it, for you to continue that, but for the fire courses you're talking about, which are different from that, like you're talking, some of the ones you talk about there are gee whiz nice to have, not necessarily required to have. And I know that you shrunk it down already considerably, almost by half, which I appreciate dramatically. It's just my mixed feelings on it.
When do you see, I saw on Facebook the other day that someone was crawling out of a Facebook window for training in the area back here. Is that included in the training, or is that just part of their daily?
That's part of our daily training,
Yeah.
but if you take Firefighter 1 course, part of Firefighter 1 is Firefighter Safety and Survival, and that's part of that course.
No, but let's just say, okay, these three guys, the guys that are on shift right now, they're gonna go back there and do some training. If, you know, the A shift wants to come, or, you know, a couple guys from A shift and B shift want to come train at that same time, are they getting paid for that training? Is that coming out of the
So this is
training
on
fund?
duty training, when we come over here,
Right.
that's on duty training.
Yeah.
If additional firefighters want to come during that time, they have to ask you to see if they can come because they have to be paid. It's not normal, it's not like, oh, I just want to do some extra. If they're here doing that under the auspices of Tnfd, we have to pay them.
So that they're covered if anything goes wrong.
Yeah.
Is that overtime pay or is that straight
That would
pay?
be overtime.
And that's where.
So that's why you see them doing the same thing, like for 4 days in a row over here, because each shift
Yep, no,
doing that.
just,
Today we did phone. Phone.
right.
We've done.
I totally respect you cutting it by almost half, totally. I appreciate that. I think trying to sell to the public an increase of 7,000 over last year's projected, even though it was impacted by COVID. Part of the sellers, you can say, because we weren't able to meet these trainings, now it's getting piled on this year. So there is some latitude in selling it. I still think the number is a little high to sell to the public, even with saying that this was a backlog we're trying to catch up on, which I respect.
Doing a little math here.
Okay.
So I could, just based on career firefighters, we have 12 current career firefighters, this $15,000 number was $1,250 per firefighter for the year. I know that other people are just simple
Which is
math.
one or two courses at best.
Right, but it's just simple math that I,
Yep.
that I use. If you take that same number, 1,250, with the 4 additional firefighters, it raises that minimal number to $20,000. If you do it based on last year's numbers.
But the only thing we should be paying for with the new 4 SAFER grants would be their EMT recertification, because their fire recertifications don't expire for the most part. Their EMT expires every 2 years. So that's the only thing you should have to be paying for is the medical courses for that. Because and that's only to EMT, EMT, not AEMT or anything higher than that, because that's not part of what the Safer Grant reimburse.
Well, I get that, but I don't want to sit there and put
I think you got to understand there. I don't believe this comes under payroll. I think the overtime.
No, I'm not, but,
This is just
Course fees.
courses.
right,
Courses.
but what I was just curious, if someone comes in for training, does that come out of my,
No,
I was wrong for my.
that would come out of the overtime.
Right.
Yeah.
So this is
Just training.
training
Right, no, I
tuition
got that.
for our call firefighters and our career firefighters.
But now, I'm just talking about the per capita. And we have 12 career firefighters, which is increasing to 16 for next year. So based on 15 divided by 12, it's 1250 as a firefighter. Using that 1250, if we kept that number the same, you'd have to have 16 firefighters, and it raises that dollar figure to $20,000.
But then you're not taking into consideration the call company that
No, I know, but I'm just using it as a number. I'm
And that was the part I didn't take into.
Right,
the
there are
call
12
courses,
call
but,
firefighters.
yes.
right, and I'm only using 12 because that's our
Current career.
career force, and our career force is increasing.
But some of the courses he listed are also.
Right, but I was just using simple math if you
Stuff like
want to
that.
use
Yep.
the try, because, okay, well, this call firefighter does this call fire, I don't want to get into that minutia. I just want to say, all right, let's base it on 12 people. If I base it on 20 people, it cuts it in half.
I mean, ultimately, this budget's gonna get a second set of eyes put to it.
What happens if you get 10 call firefighters all of a sudden, now, hey, that's a great thing, don't get me wrong, but, if you're doing the training, that's going to be how the chief will have to adjust it.
Something.
This is going to be probably the budget committee's scrutinization. too.
Well, that's the thing, that was what I meant by a second set of eyes, is gonna look at this.
Yeah.
And I think this will probably be one area they'll discuss, but I don't know. I'll make a motion to accept the 23,975 for school training fees, line 335.
Second.
Been moved to second, any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Page 6, line 342.03, antivirus. Yes, so a couple months back, it has to do with websites disguising themselves as something that you would think you could be safely clicking on and messing up the computer. And we had a scare that was able to be rectified. But to stop that, I signed up for an additional service in Mainstay to protect us. They put up a URL filter into our system so that they know ahead of time if the URL, the website, is a safe and accurate one. And so you wouldn't be able to click on it. It would not work. The safe ones will work. So I thought that was pretty important for us so we wouldn't mess it up. So I just kind of took it upon myself that we should do that.
I'm not a computer nerd, I'm far from it, but let me ask you something. Far from it too. They do not have, there was never an antivirus in there somewhere?
So we have antivirus.
Different types of
It's a
viruses.
different type of
So next year it could be something else, and we're gonna have to pay another,
It might be.
it could go on and on, I mean, these, I don't know.
It might be, but right now, this is what I know that we need protection from.
Just, you know, and I understand that, I really do understand that, that people get in there, they do all kinds of things. But it just strikes me kind of funny that you pay for one, then something else comes out, next year it's gonna be another one, and then I'll pay for another one. It's gonna keep going to no end. And I understand it's because people, there's some smart people out there that do stuff like this here,
Very nefarious.
yeah? It just,
Fortunately, it's the world we live in today, we've become too reliant technology.
you're doing, it's too bad, it's too bad it's
So-
coming the way it has been.
Technology is good and bad. I read an article today that 40% of the cost of a new vehicle is because of the technical nature of the car.
Oh, sure it is.
Get the extended service plan managed. They will see, they will pay for themselves with the first repair.
And that's a yearly coverage, or is that contracted for more than a year?
It's actually a monthly
And for a year.
fee for a year.
Okay, the 420 is the
That's the year.
year.
That's the year.
Okay.
Can we say something to that?
We just haven't eaten dinner yet, so he's going back to get us
What?
started. We haven't eaten dinner yet, so he's going back to get us started.
What's for dinner?
I don't know, that's a good
Who's
question.
the meeting?
We'll find out when we get there.
I'll make a motion to increase line 342.03 in map to the chief's amount for 420.
Second it.
Then move in second. Any discussion here and now? All those in favor?
All right.
So on the next page, line 630.112 tools, that was a typo. The original one was like $903 or whatever it said. 100 is what the actual amount should be.
Okay. Because I do remember last month there was the one that we raised the question, we wanted to kind of know what it was for.
Yeah, it didn't make sense, and I couldn't find the reason for it.
Okay.
I must have leaned on the keyboard or something.
So I'll make a motion for line 630.112 for tools for $100.
Second.
Move in second. All those in favor?
All right. Makes a lot more sense.
The next line item was an item of discussion last time, was the Opticom repair. And I think you were going to discuss something.
Yeah, so the town is still going to charge, well, I have two. When I went to the Board of Selectmen, they said you have to pay the rate. If you talk to Chief Cormier, I would do that before we finalize this number, but it sounded like to me that he would be willing to work with you on that, using people on it. But we'd have to know how many hours, and I couldn't tell what the hours were because I didn't know at the time. So I would talk to that because that's going to have, if he's going to charge, you know, if it can be done in 4 hours, great. And if it's going to take 12 hours, well, that's something, you know. That,
So I honestly don't know how long it's going to take because
no, but if you have an idea, if you can talk to the company
I'll
that
talk
would
to
take
the
traffic
company.
with an East Coast traffic signal, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Talk to them and see if they can give you an estimate of how many hours they're going to need.
And then was the 6,000?
6,000 is straight repair, not including police details.
Right. So
all
the used
the-
for service incidents suggestion is $6,000. An annual check is $2,000. I said, no, we're going to count the 2,000 and the 6,000 because it's supposed to be 8,000 plus details. No.
Are they expecting the bills for the details? Because that's, you know.
And then if they hire the detail, the company, they pay the detail plus they charge us a service fee
Yeah.
for the detail. If we hire the detail, I guess it would be less.
It'd be a lot less.
Yeah.
think of what was our rate for the town, I mean, even if they did charge us $60 an hour versus if they mark it up to $80 an hour or whatever, or they get charged the full rate, that's gonna be, you know.
Do they charge for vehicle during the detail as well? Like if you have to have a cruiser behind it, they charge for the cruiser as well?
I think that's part of it. Yeah, I think they won't put a person out there without an official vehicle.
Yeah, that has to be, but talk to Chief for me, because none of these are, well, you guys don't have any license.
They're all in total.
Yeah, there's no license.
I don't think so.
I'm sure the bill goes to town.
Because I try to use the argument, well, they use the system as well,
I think they use it more than we do.
and especially with the new police station going at one of the intersections that has to be done, which is the intersection with Walgreens, it's
Yeah.
that traffic light.
140. Oh, yeah, the 132.
Same one on Pony Road.
Yeah, 132, 133.
So we don't do that one, and we let them absorb the cost, and
Yeah.
we need it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be kind of nice if they help
So
us out.
we just leave this.
Yeah, I would leave that one.
All right, move on. Gasoline, 635.
I'll make a motion, 635 gasoline, $4,000.
Okay.
And move in second, any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Diesel, 636 diesel, 14,000.
Yeah, we had, yeah, that's fine. It's right on par with everything else we've done. Yeah. I'll make a motion for line 636 diesel at 14,000.
Second.
And move in second, any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
All right.
Vehicle repairs. So, under under this line item, all the costs listed in .01 through 0.20 are known costs that I have to have addressed in the vehicles one way or the other over the course of the year. The wild card is the $25,000, which is, I don't know what's going to happen, stuff. And we know, well, you can see where we are right now and what our historical costs on these vehicles have been. So,
So you think you could do all the miscellaneous for all these shortfalls for 25,000? I'll take that.
well, we didn't hit that number this year. We went way over it.
That's what I'm kind of looking at, is based on
But I'm
your
hoping.
known versus actuals in the past.
Yeah.
I would take that.
I'm hoping, well, we should have a new engine
Up to the
in
end of the year.
service September, maybe? October at the latest? Yeah.
Fully implemented, driver's trained,
Yep.
utilized all that, you think by October?
I think it should be delivered to Cornish in August.
Okay.
That's what they're saying right now.
2 to 3 weeks there?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you bring back gear, they're trained up on it, all that kind of stuff. So in September, October, we should have it in full service.
It's a basic engine for the most part. I mean, you don't have a special hydraulic lights or anything on it, so it's real just pump operator and just getting used to the feel of it.
Yep.
That's doable.
Nothing fancy.
There's a couple in here, like, 21F1,
Yeah, I
8600,
saw that before.
86, and then you go down here, 21 Tanko 1, 89,000.
So let me tell you what that is.
Is there a way, there seemed to be confusion at the district, maybe I imagine, at the district meeting where we weren't able to explain where people didn't understand, like, okay, an oil, doing a preventive maintenance on this vehicle costs this much. Is there a way to get a breakdown of what each one costs? Like, okay, this, for ambulance 21A1, it's $36.55, and it's 5, maybe 6 oil changes at $100 a piece, a set of tires at $1,200, for a set of tires and alignment and all that.
The addendum sheet.
Yes,
Yeah,
so
we'll have a lot of addendums.
I have a sheet here of what everything entails and how, so your forestry one, that one?
Yeah.
I'll show you what that is. Oh, that's this thing right here. And it's because, this is one of the things I want to discuss to you about, is adding a plow to that vehicle. So, because now we have to plow Shed Road by a communications facility.
What, this one right here?
Yes.
The 450?
Yes. And it's got the plow package already on it, so it's a matter of adding the plow. So the new plow, got from the place down the street, $7,500
That installed?
installed.
The V-plow?
Yes.
Is the equipment, the hardware, is that all harnessed up, or is it just has?
Has the plow package from the back. If you get it cheaper,
Oh,
if you get it cheaper, we'll buy it from you.
no, I can't say that. You have to put it out to bid.
21 utility one, have a plow.
It does. It's as old as the truck is.
The straight edge plow.
It's a straight edge, and plowing up on Shed Road is, it's a tough road for that truck.
How much do we have to do Shed Road, or just the driveway into our tower?
It's Shed Road down to the driveway at the tower. So the town, actually Spalding does, not that whole area, the town doesn't even touch it. But they stop at their pavement. We still have to plow down to the thing that's over 400 and, I think it's like 420 feet to the driveway. And then we have the driveway, and you have to push the snow away from the driveway because the gates open up to get into the facility.
And Shed Road is, like, whatever, class 4 or 5,
We
where
call it Class 6 road.
so that's why the town's not plowing it.
Right.
It's a shame to beat that truck to death.
Especially when it's so new, but
Yeah.
That plow just beats the snow.
Yeah.
And do you plan to strip off all water, or the pumps and everything to do that?
Nope.
Or just run them dry?
Yep.
Empty all water out and just run them dry and using the bells?
Yes. It'd be quite a job to get that skidding around, and it's all bolted down. Not going anywhere.
Will the road salt in there too?
No. We'll go up there. And this is all undercoated and everything too, so. Spray,
Yeah. Not so long. What year is that truck?
2019.
it'll also allow us to clear the fire stations quicker and move 2 people out by when it's happening in fire hydrants, helping the water distribute fire hydrants will get that truck done quicker as well.
Yeah, that's where you're hitting that grass, man, especially if it's soft there. It's really shredded.
Shred the grass.
No, it's shredded plow. You know, if all of a sudden you grab a turf and not snow,
The other one's 21T1.
The tanker. Okay, so that's $70 for inspection, $2,400 for TM, $400 for the undercoating, $500 for seam light, $465. It's got the portable pump in there, and so they wanted a gas cart to put in there. They wanted a gas thing because you put the portable pump and then the gas is like a little cans that could run back and forth. They wanted a little cart so you could fill it better.
That DOT approved to transport a gas cart like that?
I think they are, because they have to fill them at a gas station.
Yeah, but usually it's not meant for,
Well, how do you get them from the gas station?
well, you get it, yeah, that's fine, but moving it, like carrying it around all the time.
It's not uncommon to have cans delivered, DOT approved, not it's a very
Well,
common practice.
I know it's a common practice.
For the fire districts and stuff, because of all the portable pumps and stuff you carry, and you have gas on the engines.
We have to replace some of the folding steps on it, and they want to put like a ladder on this, so you get up the back. And then they want to adjust some of the compartments in there, so if you do get the gas caddy, I was going to change some of the interior shelvings and stuff like that. So that's why that cost $900.
Can any of these costs be coming out of the equipment apparatus?
It's maintenance now.
Well, no, you're adding plow, you're adding maintenance, that's equipment. Apparatus.
I think if we bought it new that way, we could probably get away with it, but adding it afterwards, I'll leave it up to you guys. If you think we can get away with it that way, I don't think.
I just, and I don't sound like I'm the only one like this, but I hate to be mean. Wanting things and needing things are two different things. Sometimes we get things that aren't perfect, so we have to work around whatever we get. We can't have things just because we want them. We want a ladder to climb up on top. We want to move all the shelves around because they're not perfect. You can't, it costs money to do all that stuff there. Now, if we're going to spend money like this, the money's got to come somewhere. And there again, we're not at the end of the budget here, and it's already gone up quite a bit. So some of the money's got to come somewhere. I just, I'd like a lot of things done around my house, but I do what I can afford. And do I get by with what I got? Yeah, I can get by with what I got. There are things that are better. Yeah, I'd like to have it better, but I can't afford them, so you do what the best you can with them. And the worst part is, I'm not going to say it's not their money, because I know some people live in the community and pay taxes. But the people put us there to kind of look out for what's best for the community and what's best for the firefighters. And we can't have everything. So.
Can you give a breakout from now today, either for the budget meeting or for the next commissioner's meeting, what the breakout is of kind of what you just went over?
We have it right here. Yes, you can.
An addendum to these budget. We're just asking for an addendum to get definition of what.
I just think it will help with selling, because they're going to be asking about the maintenance and things like this, so this kind of spells out no maintenance for this type of
Well,
equipment.
we know that, okay, if this 21F1, okay, we know 7,500 of it is the snowplow. That leaves 1,100 for other stuff. Instead of just arbitrarily, if someone's going to cut, instead of arbitrarily saying, all right, we knocked that down $5,000. Well, okay,
Right.
what's that accomplish?
And they see, that's the other thing. I mean, we could have just voted on that, and then all of a sudden, I had no idea why you know, without knowing, you're gonna get plowed for. And I wouldn't ask, you might have rolled it right in there. So, is there anything else in there that
All the other stuff is
just maintenance?
maintenance and repairs.
Okay. There's nothing like tires or,
No,
not tires so much, I mean
Yeah,
plow
tires
and,
in there.
yeah, not tires, the plow and moving shelves and putting ladders and,
so A1 is a bunch of PMs and tires and fluid film. A2, a bunch of PMs. Front suspension work, because that happens every year. And the depth maintenance, because it's got the problem where they bring it every month to the dealership, they have a computer reset on it. And the fluid film. Engine 1, I have just a couple of PMs on it. Hopefully, nothing else breaks on it. Engine 2, which would be the new engine. I have a mount in there for a cardiac monitor and fluid film or oil that we use at the time. Engine 3 is PMs, fluid film. One of the rear beams is busted, so we're going to replace that. And washable seat covers that we want to put in there.
Is that on what's E3?
Engine 3. The rescue, I have a PM and fluid film. Car 1 is PMs, inspections, fluid film. The forest we already went over. The boat is a PM. Car 3 is a couple PMs and inspection and fluid film. That thing's got like 135,000 miles on it. Something else might break on it. But hopefully, that will come out of the miscellaneous braking stuff. The utility right here, we need some tires on that, a PM, and let's see, then utility 1 is the truck that has the plow on it now, is inspection PMs. We need some tires, fluid film, and there's some rust that needs to be repaired on it. We went over tanker 1. The ladder 1 is a PM, fluid film, a seam light, and then the fire prevention trail is just a PM. So that's everything else.
My question is the forestry plow. My personal opinion is I hate to see that truck get used to plow because it only lasts just probably another 2 years. When you plow it, it's helpful to have on the truck to plow, and that's a nice rig to be plowing.
Well, we use the utility truck now to plow, and that's been here since 2005 or 2006, so that's lasted 15 years now. And you plow with that a lot more than this when we did with this. That's the option.
It is. And the other thing is, the other one here is a 21 tanker one, the ladders, the inside the compartments and stuff like that. Do you have that?
Yeah, because part of this is listed as vehicle repairs. A plow, I don't find as defined definition of vehicle repairs. I mean, that's a new device or more equipment. I'm not in favor of the plow on that thing. And we're looking at going for more apparatus and stuff like that, so I'm hesitant. I really recall.
And
Take that out though.
the thing is doing, and there again, back in history there, we had 2 pickup trucks that were kind of bought. And if we did something like that and put a plow on that, without people knowing that, we would look the same way. I don't want to look like that. I don't want to.
I would expect that we would discuss that.
Yeah. I would never want to be dishonest with anybody.
But really, if we didn't ask right now, we would have approved the plow going forward and not known it, because we didn't have the
That's why we have
definition.
this meeting, so you can ask questions. I'm here to answer them.
Okay, but if we had that sheet in front of us at the time when we were voting on it, then we would know that. We would be able to see that, to know to ask the question, hey, wait a second, I see a plow here. Not knowing it, not knowing anything about a plow until you mention it, we are not seeing, okay, he must have something significant for repair there, until we actually did a breakdown. We didn't know a plow was coming. That's what I'm getting at. So that's where that kind of information sheet helps us to see what we're doing, because otherwise it's like, well, you guys voted for a plow. We did.
Yeah, and we wouldn't have, I wouldn't have known.
I didn't know until
Yeah.
you said the word, and then, okay. So not having having an information sheet like that would help us be able to see, like, because you do have spelled out your preventive maintenance and things like that, which I appreciate. But us not seeing that, it doesn't allow us to be doing that, other than, oh, we get really big dollars, let's look at the big dollars, what's in the smaller dollars and stuff. So not having something to look at and to be able to formulate a question from is what's, I think, is causing some of the...
Okay.
How many miles were on that vehicle right now? That's pretty good.
I expected him to have it, he really knows it.
1,063.
1,000 what?
63.
Wow, that's 2 years old.
Okay, the only other question, can you list 21 Tanker 1?
Yes.
Things on there again? Just,
Have a good night. Thank you, guys.
So we got a call?
What's that?
You got a call?
You gotta eat dinner. And then you'll cook
Before I
dinner.
get a
I'll
call,
swing by
you got
later.
it.
I'll swing by later.
PM, the fluid film, or oil, a steam light, the gas cart,
and what's the gas card cost?
the gas cart, and the wheel kit for the gas cart. That's 730.
So I have a question. So this gas cart is going to go on a rig. Are we going to have to get some type of modification to secure that gas
So
cart?
that's the
to
next
rig?
line is the compartment reorganization.
Okay, to adjust all the apartments or whatever.
So this would be one compartment, like, I'm just looking at the back of the ladder here, this back one versus down and the next one up there with that, it could be that one in the sense that you're just reconfiguring that compartment.
So it's the shelving inside the car. So you don't really move.
Well, but you gotta make it secure so that when they
Yeah.
go around the corner, all of a sudden this
Right,
little
so
thing
yeah,
doesn't fly on.
there would be a way to secure all this so it wouldn't be flopping around. Then the rear ladder for the ladder, after the tanker was 1850. And then these folding steps, but those ones we definitely have to replace right now.
So there's a way to get these things prioritized on paper, like the steps is a safety issue.
Yep.
The gas tank is like a item of convenience in a way. I don't know if convenience is the right word. The ladder to go with it on the back of the tanker.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that could be a safety issue because, how else are they gonna get up there?
Right now, they have probably have folding steps, as I assume,
Yeah.
which we don't have here, but traditional is fold down steps and you gotta rarely go up.
Yeah, I just can't see it with the other truck. That's a tank over there. Right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Really sure about this one.
So we're talking roughly about $2,500 for the gas cart and the ladder. roughly. And the rest is just maintenance on the truck, right?
Yes.
Yeah. 2580 just for the gas cart and ladder.
Yeah.
They got a plow. They get a work plow.
almost easier to go line by line on this one.
We can do it line by line.
Let's start with the top one. You think 25,000 is gonna be enough?
That's the part where I'm scared, and I'm only willing to give it to you for 25. I know that, I'm concerned with that, with the other stuff, because this is your,
In a sense, you have two engines you have to get through the entire year with. Two high maintenance engines.
yeah, and the ambulances. Remember, the ambulances are,
Well, one's fairly new.
but they're still,
Ford is pretty new. The
they're
Chevy
still
is,
thieving on us.
Which one's breaking down more, the Ford or the Chevy?
Which one is the Ford or the Chevy? Because I can never keep track of it.
A2 is the Chevy,
Thank you,
Ford is A1.
thank you. Because we say that all the time, and it's like, I just can't associate.
You want an E2, you know that E3 is fire. We know that the ambulances are two distinct beasts that we have. Do we use the Ford in the winter more than we do the Chevy?
Yes.
And I believe it's because of the wheelbase or the traction.
Well, the Ford is full all-wheel drive,
Hell,
for the Chevy is not.
Yeah. That's a huge difference.
Not even bigger.
I'm willing to, the 660 vehicle repairs, and others up that to 30,000,
I would second that.
and maybe eliminate some of the stuff down, some of the plow lines, the other stuff.
Well, is it better to up at the 30 now, or do you wait until the end where, okay, if we take the cost of the plow, whatever, and push that up to the top, we tell the chief no plow, but it may be the same number at the end of the day, because the total vehicle repair.
If Black Beauty would be over, yeah. So,
I think the 25 is tight. I do too. I mean, that's why I'm like, if you can make it do for that, all the power, but I think it's too tight, it scares me. 30, I like that a little bit.
What was the number that you had last year that was voted?
I begged for 25.
Yeah,
We do that way.
I'd be inclined to go to 30 on that,
I would too.
just to give you a little bit more of a buffer and what we know, or what we
How
expect.
tight we are this year.
Exactly, so every little bit. But once again, I'm like you, I'm not in favor of the plow, but the 30.
Oh, no, but what I'm just saying is, okay, if we kept the dollar, let's just say the 73,000 is what we wind up with, if we just reallocate it to that top line, and we say no plow.
Yeah, but somebody's going to ask, somebody's going to say, you got $8,647, and what's that encompass? Then you're going to say plow, and they're going to.
No, we take that line
Say
down.
just the line down minus the plow.
Yeah. All right, whatever. And it was low to the top, but.
Yeah, okay, I see.
I mean, right now, you could still say, the chief could still say, I have $25,000, I'm gonna go buy a plow. And commissioners be damned,
You're right, okay.
you know? Where if you take that and you reallocate some to the top, whatever, I'll just speak my mind, so.
I mean, my mindset is remove the plow cost, give them the 5,000 for where we expect things will go, but definitely remove the plow, the ladders, the gas cart, and the compartment. I mean, remove those. I mean, we're still giving a little bit back to it for the maintenance side of things, but these are additional new items versus repairs. And that's kind of where I'm looking at a little bit more, is trying to maintain the repair and maintain the fleet rather than add something new to the fleet of a piece of equipment, not necessarily a vehicle, but per se an equipment for the vehicle.
I'll make a motion, 660, vehicle repairs, others, to increase that to $30,000.
I would be willing, either one.
Here a second.
I'll second it.
They've been moved and second. Any discussion? Mark? Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We can do this line by line if you want.
Is Eric in favor, or do you have opposed?
Oh, I'm fine.
Okay, sorry.
21A1, 660.01, 21A1, sum of $3,655.
I'll second that.
Okay, it's been moved second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
That had no additional.
No.
Okay,
Yeah, tires, but that was it, and that's maintenance.
660.03, 21E1.
What about E2?
I'm sorry, 21E2.
That was PM suspension and your
What about it?
fluids.
Messed up here.
That's just regular maintenance.
Yep.
Now that's E1.
A1,
A2.
E2.
A2 rather. Yeah, go down to A2.
You did A1 the first one.
Oh, okay, A2, you're right. Okay. I'm lost here.
Yep.
It's okay.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Who made the motion in second?
I made a motion.
Okay.
Whether or not.
I'll second it.
All right.
I thought he had made the motion, but
Okay, line 660.03, 21E1. $4,346.
I'll make a motion.
Motion been made, I'll second it. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay. 660.04, 21E2 for $950.
So now this one is an additional mounting piece, but for the cardiac monitor, it was just a small portion to make sure we maintain that.
Right.
Wait, is that for E1 or E2?
E2, the new one
It's gonna
coming
be a
in.
new one.
That doesn't even exist yet.
Yeah, but it's gonna be there.
No, but the 950 is going for adjustments to it already?
No, it's for
You just confused the heck out of it.
an X-series mount for the monitor, the cardiac monitor and mount, so it doesn't fly around the cabin.
Why are we getting a bill with that?
He's forecasting.
Oh.
Yep.
All right.
It wasn't included in our specs.
Okay.
And the undercoating for the window.
All right.
Because of the time period it's coming.
Correct.
Okay. How much is the cardiac mount of that 950? Just out of curiosity.
The X mount is $480.
And that's a proprietary mount? It's not with a charger, so when you lock it in, does it charge?
Yes.
Okay, so it's not that you're putting a plug into it and it could hold down with Velcro. This is actually mounted to the platform, and then when the piece goes in, it locks it in and charges.
So what's in, you want to look at one, so what's in these areas.
Who's the manufacturer? Is it Zoll?
Zoll.
Okay, that's, yeah. Okay.
Hear anything on it?
I'll make a motion for 950 for 66004 21 into 2 for the monitor, mount, and oil.
Okay, it's been moved second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Aye. Okay. 660.05, 21E3, $5,968. $9,500.
$5,958.
I can't see.
I'll make a motion for 5958 for 2103 for maintenance to include the rear beam and tires or oil on this one.
Do we have a written estimate on that rear beam?
Yes. $1,312.
Okay. So essentially a quarter, just under.
Okay, so anybody second it?
Second.
It's been moved second. All those in favor?
Aye.
660.07, 21R1.
And that was PM and I believe fluid,
For $360,
36.
$3,670.
Yes.
I'll
And
make a-
inspection.
And inspection, okay, so I'll make a motion.
Second.
Okay, motion is made and second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor? Aye. Okay, 660.09, 21C, C1.
That's Carla.
Yep, for $460.
For PM inspection.
I'll make a motion.
Yeah, it's just, that's right, this is the Paul level.
I'll make a motion we accept
Yes.
for $460.
We'll let you have it, I'll second it for you.
Been moved second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
All right, now we get into the discussion one.
Okay, 660.10, 21F1.
Take out the plow, the number is 1147.
So the plow was the 75, and they gave you a rounded quote.
Yes.
All right. And I will make a motion for 660.1021 for PM and maintenance of 1147.
Been moved second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor? 660.13, 21B1, a sum of $180.
Make a motion
No,
for...
that's what it is.
I'll make a
Oh,
motion.
I'm sorry, yeah.
I'll make a motion to accept $180 for
I'll second-
21B1.
I'll second it for you.
Then moved second. All those, any discussion? All those in favor? 660.14, 21C3, sum of $460. I'll make a motion to accept that, $460.
I'll second that.
And that was PM, inspection, and rust. Oh, no, the rust was a different one.
Oh, that covers it.
Inspection 2 PMs and food truck.
Okay, the float stuff, okay. Yep.
Then moved second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor? 660.615, 21U3, $789.
Yes, it's something.
That's the trailer with the gator.
Now what's being done to that? Just
PM tires and an extinguisher bracket.
I'll make a motion to accept that, $789.
Second.
Then moved second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor? Aye. 660.16, 21U1, $2,697. What's that?
Inspection, PM, plow maintenance, tires, food film, rest of the
How old are they?
16, 15, 16.
I'll make a motion to accept that, $2,697.
Second.
Then moved second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor? 66018, 21. I can't see that.
Tank
Take
away.
one.
Take one.
All right. So,
So the items of discussion here, the gas cart, the wheel ladder, and the adjustment. You take those out, it comes out to 4286.
the motion for 21 tanker one and for the career maintenance and stuff for the number again? 4286.
I'll second.
Then moved second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor? 660.19, 21L1, $3,458. That's just maintenance and
That's
And food film.
This is maintenance, not testing? Testing is different, okay. Yep, so testing will be a different thing, so, okay.
I'll make a motion to accept 21L1 for $3,458.
Second.
Then moved second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor? And 660.20, 21
I'm
FTT
gonna have to trailer.
It's a trailer outside.
Okay, yep.
It's a trailer.
for $100.
Yep, that's like
Been moved and second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
All right, so now what does that give us for a total?
$66,096.
Would you say
66096.
So you upped it and decreased it all at the same time.
But it probably matches where I just didn't think the 25.
Well, it's less than what we spent this year so far. We spent $67,700
For the actual,
So far, we spent
67,000.
67,000. Last year, we spent 70,000.
Really?
You're gonna be right on that.
okay? Move on like that.
So we're gonna get a new one on one of these rear beam.
yeah.
67047 periodic for $100.
Make a motion to approve what's the periodical for $100.
That was Paul's.
All be seconded.
I'll let you take it. Make it come forward.
I'll second it if
It's
it
been moved
needs it.
second, all those in favor?
Because there's some big ones that you and I are gonna have those motions later on, I think, so. I want a small one.
Department award, 680, Department awards for 2,500.
Now, it's a significant increase.
Yes.
What's the plan?
So the plan is this year, we're gonna have it in September. So we pass all the total stuff, it's gonna be a block here, catered meal, all that stuff. So this will cover some of that cost. The association's gonna cover the cost, plus this also covers the awards, plaques, and stuff like that.
Because in the past, you've done it,
Then
bring, and then people bring their own stuff.
Yeah, and then you end up with 10,000 desserts and nothing to eat,
Yeah.
or,
Or one thing of Chinese food.
yeah, different kinds of food.
Nothing against Chinese food, by the way.
When you
But
did,
I think these folks deserve something, I mean, they,
Well, we didn't have it this year.
we canceled it this year. because
Right.
We had to.
we postponed it and then canceled.
Yep.
When you did your breakdown, did you just do a rough, or did you kind of figure per head type of thing? What was the logic in there?
So, we,
60 people?
because they've been getting more and more crowded, believe it or not, which is nice. But I'd like to see that, I'd like to see folks like be involved with it, see what we do. We're figuring 60 people, and when, got the menu and see what that would buy us and stuff like that.
And Lockyer gave you a good deal?
Yeah, they gave us a room for free.
Okay, that would be a good deal.
Yeah, so like, they'll work with us, they're pretty good folks.
I'm in favor of that. I think it's giving a little bit back to them for appreciation. It's been a long year or two.
So you want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion for 6A Department Awards for 2,500.
Second.
So moved second, all those in favor?
Thank you. So they'll appreciate that.
6 minutes.
6 minutes.
Career uniforms, new employees. Four at $1,250 each.
So, okay, so the career uniforms is for the everybody that's here is 9,500. Then there's 5,000 for new employees because we get new employees.
Got it.
We have, it's just more stuff you have to buy from the first year that you don't, that we've already supplied to the clear folks. So the clear folks get $500 a year, some shirts or boots or whatever they need to replace. And that's, it's an allowance, but they don't get the money. We place the order, material comes in, then we pay for it, and then we issue the material to the fire. Same with the new employees, we'll send them down to the uniform store. And a lot of it's done online.
Now, you said the career, their total is 9,500.
That's correct.
And the four
Existing
employees,
Existing.
So 14,
Yes.
because yourself and Deputy Hoover as well.
That's correct.
Okay. So 500 at 14. That's where you were going with it. The amount just didn't sound.
Maybe it's not good.
I was thinking the same thing when you said that. I was trying to figure out the breakdown. So sorry for stepping on you on that.
That's right.
That's not enough, yeah.
$678.57 if you do about it.
Oh, he's coming up after that and stuff.
Sorry.
Well,
14
is that,
19 was 9,000.
Well, that's what I was wondering if it was the current 14 or if it was 18 and then the new we're getting additional. So that doesn't include the floor safer at all.
That is because of Class A's as well, the grass and stuff. The
Yeah,
ones
but
that are-
everybody, almost everybody has a class, so the one that doesn't right now, actually,
Yeah,
So if you deduct the cost of one Class A from there, that may bring your amount down to 8 something. And then when you divide that by the 14,
it brings, 14 is 7,700.
700 plus the rest of the uniforms. That's not counting the class.
Right.
Firefighter class is it's not an officer, it's a lot. It's basically another badge, captain, halfway. Shoes, captain, shoes.
this didn't seem like a even breakup number.
$8,500.
$8,500.
You have to buy 4 batteries. But when you swear in the runners.
Well, would that be under the new employees one?
No, that's not covered under, it's just, this one. Whole badge is like $50 a badge. 8,600.
so the career uniforms are 8,600.
Yes.
I'll make a motion for 68501 career uniforms at 8,600.
I'll second.
Then move in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Now, the 4 new employees. They spent $1,250 a piece.
Yes.
It's almost as much as full-time.
It's actually, when they first come on board, it's more expensive the first year. Because pants, t-shirts, the golf shirts, sweatshirts, a jacket, jacket's like $300 something all by itself. Boots, belt,
And then after that, it's just maintenance fees, is what the career one we just went around with maintenance, repair, and upkeep.
so I go through 4 pairs of pants a year. And buy 4 white shirts a year, because they don't stay white.
So this is an expense we're going to have to pay.
Yes, that's.
And it wasn't covered.
Next year, he'll go back, he'll go to 550 piece.
So we don't get, because it's part of the bargaining or whatever,
If
it's,
it was part of the collective bargaining agreement, which they don't have,
Right.
we would be reimbursed. Anything in a collective bargaining agreement that's
that would
bargained
have to be,
would be reimbursable, but since we don't have a collective bargaining agreement, we don't get covered on that.
Okay, I'll make a motion we accept new employees for at $1,250 each comes to $5,000. The move and second, all those, any discussion? All those in favor? Call company 685 to call company uniforms, $2,400.
what do they get for that?
So,
Doesn't sound like much.
that's not much. They get shirts, jackets, we supply them, but, you know, after a while, some of them get pretty ratty. Sweatshirts, hats,
Yeah. Going to,
single leather, and if they, whatever they want, they get like an allowance. It's like $120 a person. $125
so,
So,
do they have to buy T-shirts out of that, or does the department? So,
yes,
everything.
so we have t-shirts in stock, which we give to them, but we subtract that cost, and then
From
we
there.
get to a certain amount, we restock the t-shirts.
just this is one of those lines where you can build morale, especially with the call force where we're hurt. That's the only reason I'm hesitant on this. That just like with the page before, showing support back. This is how. Don't want to give away money, but I also want to make sure that they know that we do value them in a way, and that's what I think so. I mean, it's almost like the coats. I mean, I remember back in the old days, you used to have a department coat. Now, unfortunately, some departments wore them to fun spot and out drinking and stuff, so that's a bad practice of that part. You want to show that support, but you also don't want to
Right.
set yourself up for
A bad PR.
yes. But it's just trying to give a little bit back where we can. It's
Yeah, it's very important, you know. And it's also important that I want them to show up on a call with Tnfd's garb on,
Representing us,
not wearing their flip-flops and you know, the white beater t-shirt, you know?
so this is the 2,400 is you said 125 for how many people?
19.2.
Hold on a second. I'm pulling this up. It's actually last year it was $120. A pair of pants, 2 pairs of pants is $120. So,
That's kind of what I'm getting at.
yeah,
I mean, you have to maintain. I know some departments where they keep T-shirts and like the T-shirts don't come from a cost and things like that. Like I said, we're not trying to give away the bank, but
I understand, yeah?
for how many people was that based upon?
Well, we currently,
we have 12.
we have 12, we have 2 in the pipeline, and we're always trying to recruit.
Right. So you're looking at 14 at the 120. Hypothetically, another $30, and I'm probably going to get yelled at for this. Would there be anything of value for the call force, or just because of the equipment, uniforms, anything, it really wouldn't even touch the need?
Another $30 per person?
Something of that nature, yes.
You mean like upping it to 150?
I'm sorry.
Upping it to 150 from the 120?
Thinking, but I mean, if you can't get anything for that, that would be useful in their capacity, another pair of gloves and things like that,
I let them decide what they, I require them to have a Tnfd top on. In the summer, it's just usually a t-shirt, and as it gets colder, it's one of these.
Sweatshirt or everything.
And in the wintertime, they go to jackets and stuff like that, so I make sure they all have that. And like, some of them like to wear the pants, and they come and they change here and put the pants on and then go on the plow and stuff like that, so. But I leave it up to them. I know, I said, this is the bare minimum. If you want to do more, I'm happy to provide it, and I do.
50 at 14 people, just thinking out loud, that would come to what?
Hold on. $2,100.
Another 2,100?
No, 14 times 150 is 2,100.
Okay. then-
But if you say that we might get 2 people next year,
Okay.
That includes our 2 people.
We're down to 12.
We're at 12.
We're at 12, so 14. So,
okay, if we're gonna get 4 people, it brings it back to 2,400 because it's $300. Bada bing, bada boom.
I just,
I'd like to get 4 more call people.
oh, yeah, absolutely, and I think that's part of your marketing too, is just you do have supplies rather than they have to come in and work out of their own jeans, their own boots for a while. It's showing that support and camaraderie, bringing them in and showing that we care. I mean, it's not much, and a lot of people are going to be like, that's all you gave us, but it's,
Can I ask one question? So I looked at the chief, he's got his name in his. The more times that something's handled, how many of these things are personalized? Because that adds to the cost.
So we personalize everything except the t-shirts.
Oh, yeah, I wouldn't expect the t-shirts to be personalized. You just, I mean, that's one thing, if you get a good deal on something one day, all of a sudden, you know, if you get 100 t-shirts, just grab it, you know.
now, do you guys do forestry cans?
Yes.
You do forestry. Because, I mean, you come in, and if you come in for jeans, you go out to a forestry call, you destroy those things. You could have a good day where they're no longer jeans. They're just some rips and there's black char everywhere, and you just never get it out. So that's where I just look at this stuff as how we can do best for them.
Yeah, we provide them for us. For those that are certified.
I think 120 is a little low to try and, I mean, I'm not opposed to making a motion of going to 150 or, how did we come up lower than what you were asking? If you were going 120?
Because
We had
we had more call company people.
When you put this in place, you had more personnel.
More personnel.
Yeah. And this line is actually, although it doesn't show because they voted the bottom line last year, this line has been level funded the last probably 3 or 4 years. We've never really fully expended it, as you can look at the previous years. So that's why I felt comfortable with the 2,400 as well as this level funded. Especially with that decrease in numbers.
But if you take,
I definitely, if they need something, I'll let them have it.
that's what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
It just helps with morale. I know that's one of the biggest things I've had issues in the past. It's like you're tearing up shirts left and right, and it's like you're fighting tooth and nail just to get a freaking t-shirt.
Yeah.
So if we were to do 14 personnel at 150, it would equal back out at 24.
2,100. It brings it down $300.
But then you would that's 2 in the pipe right now
That's
that
the
you have.
12 that we
That's it.
have plus 2,
Right, brings you to 14, so it brings
Right.
you down to 21.
2,100.
That means that there's none for next year, then.
If you hire someone else in the middle.
Right, and that's why I'm almost of the mindset, leave it at 24, that leaves you 12 known, 2 potential incoming already, and up to 2 spare, with the understanding, use it for that and not for maintenance if we have to. I'd rather not, but it's like, use it as it's intended or move it back, that type of deal. That's my thought process. Which would still leave it at 2,400 as budgeted, but it would be for,
Yeah, I'll second that one.
What motion? I didn't hear.
Approve it at 2,400.
685.02, call company uniforms to remain at 2,400 with the expectation of use for the 12 current, 2 incoming, and that allows you 2 spare.
Okay,
Which we don't even
we're
need on
upping it
that.
to 150.
I'm sorry,
I'll take care of
Yes.
And you seconded it, Eric?
I did.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any discussion here and then? All those in favor? Aye.
You good?
it. I'm good.
Okay.
We're good. I got it.
That one.
685.03, support company uniforms.
How many do we have of that? That's your certs or?
Well, we have CERT, we have the red company,
Okay.
that's like Bob Watson,
Diane,
Diane,
Kim.
Kim.
Agreement water policy.
Yeah, the bricks.
Yeah, support.
Donuts, sandwiches,
4 to
water,
5.
so they get jackets and sweatshirts and stuff like that.
Yep.
So that breaks down to the, what, 60 each or 70 each?
I say, that's the chief sees fit, because if we catch a deal on something.
Absolutely, yeah.
At 5, it's $90 each.
I think it's a good deal.
I do too.
I'll make a motion, we accept 450 for 196 to 85.03.
I'll second.
The move second, all those in favor? Aye. Okay, I think we've got 2 more to go through, and we can call it night. Miscellaneous, about $300,
Yep.
and that's for miscellaneous.
That's what it is.
Miscellaneous.
Doesn't fit in any other area.
That's right.
I'll make a motion, we accept line 690, miscellaneous, other, for $300.
Second.
We'll move second. Any discussion? Hearing none?
All in favor?
Huh?
I'm in favor, yes.
All those in favor? Aye. Okay, the last one.
You've got one
That's
more
what I
after
said for the
that.
last couple.
Oh, what do you mean?
Pressurized hydrants.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I mean, we'll do this one.
No,
Okay,
hydrants and
hydrants and
systems.
cistern.
Dry hydrants and
That's
then
maintenance.
pressurized
That's
hydrants.
maintenance, right, right. That's like having divers go and clean it.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So dry hydrants is, in the past, has always just been when you have a diver go in and get something and.
We have a diver dive all the ones that need to be dived. They tell us what needs to be done, we get an estimate, and then we get it repaired.
How many dry hydrants do you have? Roughly,
Roughly 12.
just 12? Okay.
Yeah, we lost one last year because of the property owners that were done with you guys.
Is one over by the river still good?
That's actually been improved because.
By the Tilton Belt, the old Tilton Belt building with the new,
Yes.
Oh, okay,
the
so,
one that's exposed for like 70% of it.
Yeah, that's, they did a nice job fixing
Okay.
it.
yeah, so when they put the new fence in,
Yeah.
some work had to be done to make it accessible, but it's all set now.
So it's a contracted,
Yeah, we have to go out for a diver and all that stuff.
yep. Back up. And you upped it this year because you, another one, or?
Because of
There's repairs.
repairs that need to be made.
Okay, so no repairs from last year that didn't, that you
Yes.
incorporated into this year off of last year's, okay.
Yes.
Okay, 775, dry hydrants and cisterns, $5,275.
I'll make the motion to approve it.
That's okay.
It's been moved and second. Any discussion here and there? All those in favor? Okay, pressurized hydrants.
I believe we had an agreement made.
Actually,
We
we have not received any paperwork.
They probably realized.
They had said that they were going to keep it at the same price,
Mhm.
but we still have not received any paperwork from them. Because once we get it from them, we're going to ship it to our attorney and have him review the document to make sure it's okay. We'll also have Primex look at it.
Wait, isn't our attorney on their board?
Yeah, no, we use a different, we use like,
He was.
what? No, their attorney is Sean Chandler.
We won't use
So we won't be using him for that.
Yeah.
The other attorney we use is Paul Fitzgerald with Westcott Law in Laconia. We use him. Yep. So he would review that for us.
I can call them tomorrow.
Yeah, I think we ought to call them and see if they got a letter first before we
Okay.
decide.
Will do.
And the only other one is land down here.
Yeah, and that would be 5,000 if you wanted to,
Plus,
plus an amount not to exceed 3,000, so it would be 8,000 if you wanted to do that.
and this comes from,
This would be from
Taxation.
taxation.
Yeah.
If you wanted
Unless,
How much we got in the land and building fund?
I would want to take anything out of that.
I wouldn't take it out of land and building because when we actually do the building, you want to
I'd
maximize.
actually want to take it out of,
Because that will reduce the
Upside
bond,
thank you.
that will reduce the bond. So leave what we have in the land and building, and you may even want to do a warrant article like you did last year to add additional money to the land and building fund.
yes.
But if you want to do a transfer from the unassigned fund balance, a warrant article to transfer the money from the unassigned fund balance to pay for the land, if that would be appropriate, or to raise and appropriate in taxation, I think that's also appropriate.
So that would be one article we'd have to put in there.
You can do that, yes.
Yeah. I think,
Either way, it's going to be go to district meeting, whether you raise it through an appropriation on this line item, or you do a separate warrant article to transfer from the unassigned fund balance.
Or you can vote it at district meeting to do it with taxation, and then when it comes time to set the tax rate, you can take money from the unassigned fund balance to offset that. There's 3 different ways you can do this.
I think what we ought to do though is get a number in there. Exactly, we know the land's 5,000.
Right,
And you gotta go through all the other stuff before we know that anyhow.
right.
Yeah, I have to
What's
raise
it gonna
again the actual cost from the surveyor
Yeah.
to see what that would cost. And he hasn't contacted me yet. I gave another call today, but all I got was answering machines, so I assume they're out doing surveying stuff.
So I think that should be done before we
Okay, then we'll leave it yellow.
Yeah.
I think we'll pass the one, the no turn, to get done.
It's 17.
Time to go home.
what's the plan for addressing the salaries and wages next meeting? Or do we have another, we don't, because this has to go to
We
the budget.
have to set up another meeting.
Because we still haven't looked at the apparatus and first one. And you guys have all what it is right now, the apparatus and equipment fund. So if you want to review it on your own, if you have questions about anything, send me an email and I'll answer you. So that if when time comes to go through that, we can move along. We'll still discuss it, but it won't be a 15-minute discussion. It could be like a 2-minute discussion.
Come
If you think that's a good idea or not.
Monday is the budget committee,
Right, budget committee is Monday,
right? Where?
here.
Here.
Just to let you guys know, town hall is planning to be closed, if you ever heard that already.
No,
Okay. Now you know.
Question on page 12, did the budget committee, is this numbers from last year's budget committee? Column 3, it says budget committee's budget with dollars in it.
Yes.
So that's last year's?
And so that needs to be.
oh, that
That needs to be taken out.
Okay.
2020 appropriated, I need to fix,
So you copied it.
yeah, I didn't add the budget. Yeah,
Looks
the
like
budget
a-
committee needs to be taken off.
Okay, that's what,
Yeah, they
that's
haven't
why I was
done
asking,
anything.
because I didn't think they did anything, but I just wanted to,
I did, I just sent you that.
Yeah, no, they haven't,
Budget line?
yes, this is the one that we're operating off, I just saw that column.
yes, so let me go in right now, because you'll get a new one for the next meeting anyway.
Yes.
So, yes, that will be done, taken care of. No,
And I did, so like on the last page, page 14, the new engine 1, I got the estimate from 720. So that, what the number is 712 was my guess, 720 is the number from the company. So
So you're saying the 2020 actual, or where
No,
are you saying, Chief?
on page 14.
Yeah.
Bottom. New engine 1,
For 712, it's here.
it should be 720.
720, okay, that's the one that's changing, okay.
But that'll be corrected in your
Yeah.
reprint.
Okay.
This is 4%?
I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
You're gonna get
What do you think?
an appointment, or the next meeting
Meeting.
before you do?
Meetings.
Yep.
All right, so, nothing next week, it's Thanksgiving week, please.
Well, we have the budget committee's meeting.
On the 30th.
Oh, oops, I put that in the
Oh,
wrong day.
okay.
Budget committee meeting is on the 30th.
Okay, good.
That was the day that everybody agreed they could make it.
That's fine, I just.
I cannot do Monday unless you're out of here by 6:30, which I know doesn't work there,
Monday what?
the 23rd.
Okay.
Oh, you said not that week,
Well,
I'm sorry.
if that's okay, just not Wednesday, please.
Right.
I have a meeting on the 23rd Monday.
All right, so what about the 24th? Oh, Eric. You have a meeting.
I can do any Thursday. If you don't work Thursday.
Including this Thursday coming?
I was fine. How about, what's the meeting for Thanksgiving? I just find out what to do with. 23rd I could do. Well,
Joan and the chief can. What about the 24th?
I have planning board
Okay.
at 6:30. I just don't know what's on the agenda.
Okay, so that's a no-go.
Well, if I could talk to them tomorrow, see if what she knows what's on the agenda.
Selectmen's meetings are on Thursday, right?
Yeah.
That's why we can't go on Thursday.
What about this Friday? I hate doing Fridays, but
I'm not doing Friday. Sorry, I can't.
that's fine.
I'm not doing, I have a meeting Friday too. A different meeting.
What about,
Family meeting.
I'm just looking
what
at it.
about this Thursday, the 19th?
Eric has selectmen's
Oh,
meeting.
I'm sorry, yes, I just missed it.
Well, I'm just looking to see if there's an agenda. November 10th is still out. So. The 4th is still on the calendar. There is no agenda. I have to email it.
Okay.
Tentatively the 24th?
Yeah. And I made something this.
Maybe they're doing this too, because there's holiday week.
Well, I was thinking, it's like, it's things, like 2 days before Thanksgiving.
Right.
Well, here's the thing, they may go remote, they're gonna have to go remote anyways, because, because town hall is closed.
Which Thanksgiving, the 25th?
26.
26th, okay.
Just another day here,
25th is my dad's 91st birthday. So they had to take the ladders away from him, climbing up here and just clean up the leaves.
So tentatively the 24th, pending Eric's.
Yes.
Okay, I'll talk to her.
He'll let me know tomorrow and then I'll blast out.
Just to let you guys all know that I lost my email access on my phone because I'm an idiot. So I'm slow to respond to any emails. Because I don't know how to get it back on my phone.
I don't send you any.
I'm working on finding them.
Well, if you send them, just let her know and she can forward them to my Gmail. So,
I can't send them to you because then it's a quorum.
That's why you send them to me. Because I'm not a quorum.
once I said, just let her know that you sent it, and send it to her, and she'll send it to me.
And you just said that on video, huh?
He did. It's okay.
Well, some of them do.
So we all set?
We are, now we can do it.
So do we want to set another date just in case the 24th is out?
This first week in December.
We have a meeting on the 1st.
Do
a
we make
regular
it part of our
commissioners
agenda?
I'd say, yeah, if we,
I'd say we have to make it part of our agenda on the first.
meeting. Okay,
yeah. Because this is priority to get it
yeah,
off
it
to the
is.
budget.
We're at that point.
Yep.
I mean, on the 30th, they're going to get what we've got.
Yeah, that's fine.
But if we can finalize the rest, so.
So I'm not gonna go through, because otherwise now you're gonna take another day for this budget. Yeah.
Yeah, no. All right.
Okay, I'll make a motion to adjourn at 8:26.
Sounds good.
Professor, right about here?
Oh, that's it.
Should I shut this off?
Yeah, it doesn't hit.
Stop?
Stop.
Okay. Bye, whoever's have a nice day. Happy Thanksgiving. Double.
So,